Hi guys, Bruce here. Still working on the axe and sledgehammer pick videos, and finally the axes are completely finished, and they turned out great. And now I'm doing the sledgehammer, the pick, and my garden hoe. And I'll just put this. Oops, excuse me. Put this down here. So this is as far as I'm going to go with the sledgehammer. It's not a work of art or anything like that. It's an 8-pound, and it's really good quality, but it's not anything that could even potentially become an heirloom or anything like that. But this is different. This is the pick, and I've cleaned all the rust off of it with a wire brush. This one here on my grinder. And I didn't even know it, but it's a 6-pound clay pick made in England. The clay picks have quite a point here. If you can see at one time there was a point there. And then of course a point on this end. I'm going to use a wooden handle. I shopped all over the place, and most of the handles were kind of a rubber cover on the handle, and it didn't look antique to me. I think this is probably an antique. I'm sure it's older than I am, because I've had it for 30 years. So anyway, I've got this really cool handle, and it's going to look, it's almost like a museum piece. Today, the first thing I'm going to do is take the varnish off of the handles. I don't like the varnish on the handles, just like a lot of the other axe videos that you see. People just put boiled linseed oil on the handles when they're done. For sure, I'm going to take the whatever this is, some kind of polyurethane, on these handles. I'm just going to start sanding on these handles with a palm sander. With a really aggressive sandpaper. Because it's a palm sander, it doesn't leave long gouges, it just vibrates, so you can take off quite a bit of varnish quickly, and then I'll go over it with a 150 and then a 220 when I'm done. I've sanded all of the lacquer off of the handle, and we're going to put linseed oil on the handle. Now, different than an axe, this sledge head, or whatever you want to call it, is exactly the same measurements on the bottom as the top. So we got about that much sticking out, and we turn it over, and it's the same. So this is my diagram. If this is our sledge, right? This opening is the same measurement as this opening, and then it's narrow in the center. So the handle will fit into here like that, and it'll buck up against the shoulder, and then the wedges will be driven into the top, holding it from the top. So it won't move down and it won't move up. A little bit different, slightly different science than an axe, but still the same similar idea. I've extended this cut down about a half an inch or 3/4 of an inch further down. 2 centimeters for us Canadians. Here we go. Like that. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Hey, I'll come back in a bit. Hello folks. Well, we're going to hang a sledge now. I think that's what you call it. I've cleaned this up with a wire brush, and I've sanded down the handle. I don't have any more varnish or lacquer on the handle. So now I'm going to hang this, just like hanging an axe. If you can see that. And that's good. I've never done this before, so great. So now I'm going to cut this off about with a ½ inch left. Okay guys, I'm going to set the wedge now. Now some people use linseed oil on the wedge. Some use nothing. I've seen it done with glue. I like the idea of hardwood glue. And I think it's, well, for me, it's a matter of preference. So anyway, I'm going to set this. Got a concrete floor here, and away we go. There. Well, it drifted a little bit on me. Well, that's fine. Now I'm going to cut it off. Cool. Very nice. Now I'm going to use a wedge on that. All right. I'm going to set it with a punch. There we go. Eye on the ball. And there we go. Spread it right out. I'm going to sand the end, and I'll give you a little shot of it when we're done. Whew. Alright guys, here we go. There's my 8-pound sledge hung with a new hickory handle. Oh, it's heavy. And you'll notice that the grain on the handle goes this way, not this way. So it means it's a good handle. And we're just going to let that oil set up and put another coat on it later. I'm really happy with that. Looks cool. Alright folks, now we're moving on our tools that don't need fuel series. And this is a clay pick. I think you've seen where I've buffed it up with the wire wheel. And now I've just put a very rudimentary edge on this. I looked on the online on stores that sold clay picks. And that's all they have, is just a nice little edge. Nothing outstanding. It's pretty self-explanatory. I just kind of emulated the edge that used to be there. And this is for digging in clay, pulling roots, not rocks, but you obviously get into the odd rock. And I've had this pick for, well, I don't know, 30 years. So now I'm going to set it into this handle. Different than the sledge and the axes, the pick, the handle fits through the top. And then it's set. But I'm going to do a little bit of fitting on this. And we're just going to tap. What I was going to say is that a pick does not get a wedge in the top because it will just drive back down the narrow handle like that. So once you get it set, I guess that's it. So I'm just going to keep using a small rasp to see where I need to be. So once I get this set in here really good, that'll be it. So I'll come back when I've done a little bit of sanding with this rasp. Thanks a lot. Alright, so what I've done is I've taken a Sharpie and I've just put a little mark on the handle and a little mark on the pick to make sure that they go together the same way each time. I'm just tamping it on this concrete. Can you see that? And then I take it out. flashlight, I can see where it's scuffing. Right there. Not bad. This one's very, very good, actually. And just take the pencil marks off. Let's try that. It's fitting in a little snugger each time. Snugger? Is that a word? Now, being as that there's no wedges on here, you want to make sure that this is on good and tight. So anyway, I'm going to continue playing. That's what I call this work. Alright guys, I think I'm done the pickaxe except for the linseed oil. And I just set it in here tight. I tapped it on the floor until it was flush with this, and there was nothing else I could do except give it a couple more taps this way, and I was being very careful. And I don't think they have anything else holding them in. So I think that's done. I'll just put some linseed oil and I guess you can watch that. And maybe that'll expand. Looks pretty cool.